than the other two put together. It was a name the whole world now knew. The name of his only daughter. Bronwyn. The Black Hawk military helicopter blew wispy fog from the treetops as it circled over Needsville, Tennessee. The rotor's throb bounced off the Smoky Mountains, echoing as if a herd of gigantic, apocalyptic horsemen were charging over Redford's Ridge. The pilot dropped as low as he dared, 20 feet above the power lines, as he approached the town. He recalled his father's description of a similar approach to an Asian village, only instead of power lines, it had been palm trees, and the villagers had pointed guns and artillery instead of fingers and American flags. "Your folks are sure glad to see you," he yelled over his shoulder to the young woman in the passenger seat behind him. She did not respond. Needsville's main street, its only street, swarmed with people watching the helicopter as it passed overhead. But Bronwyn Hyatt, a private in the United States Army for at least the next 30 days, knew that the pilot's observation was wrong. These weren't her people packing the street below. Hell, the entire population of Needsville couldn't block its own traffic. Most of the crowd consisted of reporters and well-wishing strangers drawn to the circus her return home had become. The vehicles she saw were TV news vans and shiny SUVs, not the rusted-out pickups and old sedans of the natives. As she scanned the crowd, she saw very few heads with the same distinctive, straight, jet-black Tufa hair that she wore neatly pulled back and tucked under her uniform's cap. Her official minder, Public Relations Liaison Major Dan Maitland, peered out the other window. "Jumping Jesus on a pogo stick, look at all that," he said. "Where the hell are they all going to stay? Didn't you say there's only one hotel in town?" Bronwyn shifted her weight slightly to take the pressure off her leg. The metal rings and struts of the monstrous Ilizarov apparatus wrapped around her thigh and calf, sending bone-holding screws and pins through her pasty, tortured skin. She would have been more comfortable on a stretcher, but she'd been on her back quite enough these last 9 weeks. And not, she reflected wryly, in the way her Needsville reputation always implied. Maitland leaned close and shouted above the engine, "Can you see okay?" Bronwyn shrugged. The engine's vibrations jingled the new metals on her chest. "Seen it all before," she said. "Yeah, but from the air?" Again, she shrugged. Tufa flight was something she could never explain to someone like him. Maitland patted her on the shoulder. He was a career officer, frighteningly good at his job, and exuded false sincerity with such skill that dozens of flash-in-the-pan media figures still counted him as a friend when he likely couldn't remember their names. Luckily, Bronwyn had seen right through him at their first meeting and maintained a cool cordiality that ultimately perplexed him. He seemed unable to imagine anyone, male or female, immune to his charm. Watching him hide this confusion was one of the few things that still brought Bronwyn any pleasure. Maitland said something to the pilot, and the helicopter passed back over the town, banking sharply so Bronwyn could be seen at the window. The harness that held her in the seat dug into her shoulder. When she placed her left palm against the glass to maintain her balance, she saw many of the hands below wave in response. The sun glinted off 1,000 camera lenses. None of this was a surprise, but it disheartened her just the same. A hero's homecoming, and she couldn't even remember what she'd done to earn it, or even if she'd done anything at all. As the helicopter rose to continue on to the small county airport, she caught a glimpse of an old man seated in a rocking chair outside the post office. Rockhouse Hicks did not deign even to acknowledge the circus around him or her passage overhead. It wasn't in his nature to admit, even for a moment, that someone else might be more significant than himself. That made her smile. Some things in Needsville truly never changed. But the smile faded almost at once. That was both Needsville's charm and its curse. Nothing of significance ever did change, or ever would. She herself was living proof of that. And she was too